Hey everyone! Today let's talk about something really tough but totally real. Have you ever noticed that some women always wear dresses when they go on secret extramarital dates? Don't think it's just about looking nice. Those carefully chosen dresses hide a lot of little attempts to cover up their true intentions, even what you could call an invisible disguise. Today, I'm going to break down these hidden thoughts for you, not to judge anyone, but to help you see that a relationship that needs to be disguised with clothing is doomed to be full of lies from the start. Let's start with the first point: how dresses help them hide time-related clues. What's the biggest fear when cheating on a date? Getting caught because the timeline doesn't add up, like lying about going to the gym, but actually meeting their extramarital partner, then having to change clothes and cover their tracks before their spouse gets home. That's where dresses shine. They're quick to put on and take off, and they can hide traces. I heard a case in marriage counseling once. Lisa always wore an ankle-length dress every time she met her extramarital partner. Why? Because the long dress covered the marks left by high heels her husband knew she usually wore flats when she went grocery shopping. So if there were high-heel prints by the door, he'd definitely get suspicious. Plus, long dresses are super fast to change out of after the date. She could switch into athletic wear right in the car, stuff the dress into her bag, and tell her husband, "I'm exhausted from the gym today," and he'd never suspect a thing. Later, I looked into some research and found that a criminal psychology professor from UCLA did a study saying 70% of women choose dresses for extramarital dates because they save an average of over 4 minutes compared to pants when putting on and taking off. Don't underestimate those 4 minutes when every second counts to cover your tracks. That time can be a lifesaver. Like if they suddenly get a check minus and call from their spouse, they have enough time to change clothes, get their act together, and even make up a story. Some are even smarter. My friend Sarah told me she once saw her co-worker Emily coming out of a Love hotel at noon wearing a silk slip dress, but Emily had told everyone she was going to the gym at lunch. Later, Sarah found out that slip dress had a removable lining during the date. She'd take the lining out to have a sexy slip dress, and after she'd put the lining back in, throw on an athletic jacket, and it would instantly look like gym clothes. See that? The versatility of a dress becomes a shield to cover their whereabouts. Even better, the skirt can hide intimate traces. An anonymous reader told me that when she sat in her extramarital partner's car wearing a long dress, even if she accidentally got lipstick marks or hair on her legs, she just had to pull the skirt down a little to cover them up. Adjusting the skirt before getting out of the car seemed like she was just being neat, but really she was checking for any missed traces, like if there was the other person's hair stuck to the dress or lipstick smudged on the hem. At that point, the dress isn't just clothing anymore, it's a safety shield, using fabric to block the truth completely. Now that we've talked about hiding time clues, let's move on to the second little trick. Dresses create an unintentional vibe that makes people around them let their guard down. The worst thing about an extramarital affair is being labeled. They want to enjoy the thrill, but don't want to admit they're cheating, even lying to themselves that it's just a meeting with a regular friend. That's where the casual feel of a dress comes in. Relationship expert Dr. F. Michelle once had a client named Mia who always wore a linen cotton bohemian dress flats and carried a canvas tote bag every time she met her extramarital partner. Said, "Dressed like this, even if a friend sees me, they'll just think I'm grabbing tea and chatting with a buddy. They won't think anything else." If she wore a bodycon dress and high heels, it would be too catching and only make people suspicious. Behind this is a kind of psychological defense, like Freud said. People use reaction formation to hide their true desires. The more casual the outfit, the more it's saying, and not doing anything wrong. Choosing a loose A-lined dress instead of a figure-hugging bodycon one, floral prints instead of bright solid colored satin, a canvas tote instead of a designer bag. Every detail weakens the date vibe, tricking others and themselves into thinking this is just normal socializing. I also noticed a pattern: women usually wear basic style dresses for extramarital dates, rarely anything with bold designs. For example, when going on a date with their husband, they might wear a sequin dress or a backless dress, but when meeting their extramarital partner, they pick the most ordinary shirt dresses or knit dresses. One client told me, Wearing something too I-catching makes me scared of being recognized by someone I know, and also scared the other person will think into invested. We both know this relationship is secret. Wearing something plain helps keep up the pretense that we're just messing around, which eases the guilt. See that? The dress becomes a relationship thermometer here, using understated design to cover up the fact that they're crossing lines, making this secret relationship seem less outrageous. The third trick is even more ironic. Dresses help them find a twisted sense of security in their betrayal. A lot of people think cheaters are bold. But that's not true. Most people in extramarital affairs are torn inside. They crave excitement, but fear getting caught, enjoy intimacy but feel moral guilt. That's when a dress gives them a warped sense of safety. Last year I heard a case. Jennifer dug out an old pleated skirt she'd worn in high school for her first meeting with her extramarital partner. She said, "Putting on that skirt made me feel like I was back before I got married. No worries. No need to think about betrayal. It was like that made what I was doing not feel so wrong." In psychology, this is called a regressive defense mechanism. When people face moral conflict, they subconsciously revert to an earlier, more innocent state. A dress that feels like it's from adolescence triggers a naive mental cue, rationalizing the cheating as just a moment of weakness instead of being a bad person. So many readers have told me, when I wear pants, I always feel my waist is tight, like I'm tied down by morality and can't breathe. But with a dress, especially a loose long one, my steps feel lighter, like the guilt isn't as heavy. It's true. Dresses are forgiving on these physical tension. For example, many women choose dresses with elastic waist for extramarital dates because when they're nervous, they unconsciously take smaller steps, and the elastic waist hides that stiffness, relaxing their body and in turn easing their mental stress. As someone put it, a dress can hold my anxiety and those desires I dare not say out loud. But this sense of security is fake. It's just using fabric to temporarily numb themselves. The fourth trick might be even harder to spot. Dresses are secret signals between them and their extramarital partner. A secret relationship fears being spelled out and leaving evidence in facts when the style and color of a dress become a code, understood only by the two of them. Sociologist Pierre Bourdieu once said, "Niche clothing choices are identification marks for secret groups." For example, a woman who never wears jeans and keep on normally might put one on when meeting her extramarital partner. Someone who usually wears athletic wear might suddenly switch to a lace dress. This in itself is a signal. I broke my habit for you were in the same group. A distant relative of mine complained to me, "I figured out my husband was having an affair with his coworker because every time she met him, she wore a red dress, but she never even wears reed socks normally." Later, they found out that a reed dress was a signal for we can take things further, while a blue dress meant today we can only chat, no crossing lines. This kind of code avoids direct verbal communication, afraid of being recorded or caught, while adding a sense of ritual to this dangerous relationship, making them feel, we have a secret no one else gets. What's more interesting is that the more secret the relationship, the more modest the dress. A lot of people think cheaters would wear revealing clothes for dates, but it's the opposite. One client said, "Wearing something too revealing makes me feel like I'm really being a bad woman, and the guilt is worse. A long dress with a high neck, though, lets me lie to myself that it's just a normal date, easing the moral pressure." The fabric of the dress becomes a balance between desired morality using a modest exterior to hide the transgressive interior. But let's be real, no matter how good a dress is at hiding things, it can't cover the truth. Those carefully chosen dresses will eventually leave clues. Maybe the husband smells a perfume on the dress that's not used at home, or finds dirt on the hand that's not from their neighborhood, or maybe when she's putting on the dress in front of the mirror, she suddenly sees a stranger looking back tired and unfamiliar. I heard a really sad story. A woman was in an extramarital affair on and off for 2 years, wearing the same black long dress every time she went on a date. Later, when she decided to go back to her family, she took off that dress for the last time and noticed it was 2 inches looser than when she bought it. Turns out, during that secret relationship, she'd been living in anxiety and guilt every day, losing weight without realizing it and feeling empty inside. She told me, "That dress could hide my whereabouts and my schedule, but it couldn't hide the torment every late night." I thought wearing a dress would keep me safe. But in the end, I realized the most unsafe thing was my own heart. The dress itself isn't the problem, it's the lies and betrayal attached to it. Real love never needs to be hidden behind clothes. Like a date in the sun, whether you wear jeans or a dress, it's open and honest, no fear of being seen, no fear of leaving traces, and no need to lie to yourself that it's just a meeting with a friend. Finally, I want to say a relationship that needs to be sustained by disguise is doomed to be a tragedy from the start. Instead of obsessing over dress details to cover up lies, cherish the person beside you who makes you feel safe no matter what you wear. After all, honesty and openness are the most precious clothes in any relationship. If you have something to say or know a similar story, feel free to drop a comment and share with me. We'll talk next time. Hope everyone can live honestly and peacefully in their relationships.